Oh, that explains why. That explains why I had the fucking mute button on. Uh, though I had a good fucking reason to have that on. Well, eh. Yeah. I didn't, I didn't even realize, like, mute button would be why. Yeah, I guess even from last night, I guess the mute button will just keep steep. I don't know why I keep saying that. It will still keep going on, even afterwards, I guess. Alright, well, like 3 minutes of silence. Great. I mean, luckily in those 3 minutes of silence, there wasn't really much missed at all. Hey, so how's your day? Yeah, it's gone. I guess, you know, it's about as best you can do. It's about as best as you can do with just these just kind of meh, garden variety, depressive days. It's just like, you know, it's gone. I mean, it's nothing in particular of today. It's just, you know, I mean, when you are depressive like I am, and you have to struggle with it all the fucking time, you know, some days you just stumble around and you just, you know, just gotta chug along. So, yeah. I mean, it's more so just about, like, I mean, fucking last night, nobody, luckily, thank fuck, saw it, but, man, it's like, it's like it's like when you have a realization that you probably should have had a long time ago, but now you're just realizing that maybe this realization should have been, like, taken to account. So, yeah, I'm kind of really kind of unfucking nerved, to say the least. And, yeah, I guess that's about as much as I could really say for that, at least on how I feel, per se. But, I mean, you, Joe, you know, because I don't know how or why, but I noted, like, right before I went to bed, you, like, hey, you know, hey, why is the stream privatized? I can't see it. And I'm just like, well, I'm about to go to bed. I'm not asleep yet. Fuck it. Just go ahead and explain it. But you did say it a long time ago. Well, this is different. This is different. Like, there's a difference between toxicity or just somebody being, like, just, you know, not checking out with the vibe and stuff. Like, hey, you know, I'm just angry because of other random shit that I'm thinking about that has nothing to do with the vibe or whatever. Or, you know, just getting overly angry over nothing, you know? Like, there's that's the difference. There's the difference between that and literally having a psychoactive mental breakdown. Like, there's legitimately a fundamental difference between mentally snapping as a cognitive human being and to just be fucking pissed about shit. Because I have been pissed about shit on these streams before, plenty. To the point where it seems like I am, like, you know, on the verge of snapping or something, but I'm not, you know. Generally, if I do that, I'm actually being a little bit more of a character at that point, more than I'm actually being a serious human being. Like, at least for me, when I'm doing these, I'm also being partly a character. Like, I'm not just me, you know? But with him, though, that's not, I mean, but with my friends, I mean, I'm questioning if I should even be saying that, or be like, you know, my concerned person I know, because I honestly, legitimately, really don't want any affiliation with this guy anymore. Because, for, like, I'm at, like... Thing is, it's like, I don't even want to, like, be like this with my friend here, but goddamn, like, when you're literally having mental breakdowns and, like, screaming at the top of your lungs to where, like, the people at the Great Wall of fucking China can hear you, like, maybe I shouldn't be around you or affiliated with you at all. I mean, fuck, like, I will not repeat what he was saying. Nor am I going to describe, because it is legitimately too hot for YouTube shit. And he's saying it, like, on my fucking stream, to dipshit. So yeah, like I had to mute most of that shit. In fact, I cut it off pretty quick after that. I'm keeping it so I can show my friends and actually be like, yo, I'm not fucking around when I say that I'm concerned about him and his mental status. And I fucking mean it. Like, I'm being serious. Like, I'm actually going to contact, health professionals, the FBI. I'm being serious. I would contact them. I'm considering that. Because he has access to guns. My friend, who's having psychoactive breakdowns as of late, has access to guns. Let me repeat that. A mental unstable person has access to guns. And he's talking about a lot about how he wants to do a lot of very violent things. So, at this rate, I am very comfortable with getting them involved. I'm totally comfortable with it. Because it's not because I'm trying to fucking ruin my friend's life or whatever. I'm trying to save it. That's where I'm coming from on this one. Because there's just no fucking way I'm just gonna let him, go rambling off about how he wants to, anyone who just, quote, gets in the way of progress should just be immediately killed in the most visceral ways that he can describe. And take, orgasmic pleasure from it. The dude's a psychopath. My friend Tyler is literally a psychopath. And I don't feel it's to the point where it's just not I just don't like his toxic mentality sometimes. It's not, it's beyond that now. It's legitimately he actually fucking scares me for what he can do. It's right down there in my own core. I just can't fucking just let this slide around any longer. I'm not just gonna let him, just say all this bullshit and think he can get away with it, because he's not. He won't get away with this shit. Because at the end of the day, he's my fucking friend, and if he gets himself killed because he's a fundamentalist chimpanzee with rabies, then you know what? Then maybe he shouldn't be. But at the end of the day, I still care for him for some reason, so maybe I don't want to see that for him. But, I'm considering this shit. I'm gonna eventually get a text group chat with my friends and be like, look, I'm sharing this with you guys, and I need you all to legitimately, look for the whole thing, and be and take me fucking seriously, and I'm going to be emphasizing the seriousness, and I don't give a fuck what they say. If they're like, oh, that's just meaning Tyler, or oh, that's just him being mad, or whatever, it's well, fuck you then. I'm gonna take it my own way. I'm gonna do this my own way then. If I have to do it myself, god damn it, I will. So, this is I'm not just gonna let, because at this point, he's no different than some white nationalist neo-Nazi that talks about killing Jews all the fucking time and wants to reopen Auschwitz. And in fact, he talks about that all the time. Where he wants to, do these Nazi positions of doing mass genocide, ethnic cleansing, removing the, quote, undesirables. You want to know who was talking about undesirables? Nazis. So it's just at this point, I'm seeing my friend become his own little deranged Nazi in his own right, without actually believing in Nazism. So that's just fucking great. Need to keep yourself. Don't worry about me, dude. I'll be fine. I'm gonna be okay. It's other people I'm worried about. I think I've brought you to the edge a few times about being mad, or... hold on, can't read that yet. Or your character anyway, but I'm glad your friend don't know where I live. Yeah. He, straight up... I'm not kidding. He straight up was talking about, oh, we need to go hunt, these random people down, their families and shit. It's just deranged. No ethical compass whatsoever. It's quite literally pretty fucking, it's disturbing to listen to, honestly. Even when he's memeing now, I can't help but think about the beast inside. That's why, even when he's just, joking about, fuck him, or whatever the fuck, I take that seriously, even. I take what he says, whatever he says at this point seriously, because it should be. do people are. So do I. That's why I'm coming out of this position. That's why I'm having a position that I'm in, because I do too. I mean, you know, like, cause fuck, like, I feel just as angry as he does about shit. Like, and the thing is, like, I don't necessarily blame him for being so fucking angry about the state of current affairs. Not really so much with, like, in our own personal lives, per se. Oh, there's still some unburnt shit. Damn. But, but yeah. Like, when it comes to, like, our country, the world, and climate change, etc., yeah. It makes total sense. But it's how you could go about trying to, like, you know, absorbing that, really. And trying to express your frustrations. And, you know, you can't let your reactionary emotions get to you. And I keep trying to, I have consistently, and all the fucking time, off these streams, on these streams, all the time, have consistently pushed, like, this, no, what your reactionary, emotional, tribalistic barbarism is wrong every fucking time. Futile. So it's to the point where it's just like, it's not just him being mad, it's him also being mentally unstable and not just being an autistic fuck like I am, but generally has other mental problems besides that. Like, it's more than that. Like, it's clear for me. Like, I see the writing on the wall. Like, that's why I'm also so, you know, down on Bernie and shit, too. Because, like, I'm seeing my own personal friends in the world around me, and it's just like, if that don't happen, fuck. Like, I know one of them especially will snap from that shit. Because he even was, like, literally openly calling for that. Just like, I will literally, like, break down and just do a Columbine or whatever the fuck. And it's just like, dude, you're literally a psychopath. You need to be in a mental institute. Like, that's where he actually needs to be. Like, he needs to totally be checked out from the world, because evidently he's making him fucking crazy. And you know what? The world is crazy. And I've accepted it. And I've kind of embraced it to the sense of where it's just like, ride the wave. Because that's how, like, because it's nothing that there's no amount of getting angry or lashing out or killing people that's gonna fix that. In fact, it makes it worse. So it's just like, man, I get concerned for my friend, man. Like, all I know is that it's that part of me is kind of glad I haven't deleted the stream that I did last night yet. Though I'm definitely not letting that be viewed to anybody besides a few select. Because it's just that it's getting to be too much. It's getting too fucking far. And this is coming from somebody who was just in a very unstable place himself. Though of course, I feel like, at least for me, I came from a different aspect. Like, because I'm not kidding, like the last, like, through December, through, like, the first week of January, I was straight up suicidal and shit. Like, I'm just gonna be blunt. I'm gonna be honest there. Yeah, that's how I felt. You know, and because when I look at the system, and when I look at the state of affairs, I don't want to hurt anybody. Like, that's my resolve. So when I think about, you know, fuck everything that's going on, and fuck all these people that are doing it, like, at the end of the day, I don't want to fucking, like, go on to some one of these fucking things. I'd rather just check out, you know? So that's why, you know, at least in that point, I was, but I'm not anymore. And I'm back out of that type of instability, and I'm get shit figured out for myself right now. But, and now it seems like someone else is now losing their shit. I hope you never go there. Don't. I mean, it was a very, like, low point in my life, but I'm getting back out of that. I mean, I'm still stumbling, but I'm not, like, at that same fucking point that I was, like, a month ago. Definitely not. I mean, if anything, I've gotten a lot more deterministic about things, gotten a lot more serious with other aspects, you know, and certain shit. So there was just definitely, you know, I mean, because the thing is, life is fucking tough, you know, especially with the current state of affairs. For anybody, and for everybody, really. Besides just a few wealthy elites that fucking exploit the entire system for their own personal benefit. But besides them, everyone's feeling some shit. I mean, it's a privilege to not have, like, all the fucking suffering that every everyday person has to deal with. Absolutely much off. That's part of why I'm not that way anymore. Because, like, regardless of these current outcomes right now, shit ain't gonna be the same. this shit won't be the same 10 years from now. I might have a horrible fucking, 20-year decade, but the next 20 years could be fucking absolutely fruitful. So, who knows? I mean, that's the whole point. Like, I mean, I'm a pessimist and very cynical about shit. I'm a nihilist, but I'm not, like, one who really takes things down lightly as of like, whatever. It really does for me, take a lot to just be like, just get in it, whatever. Like, I know I'm procrastinative. I know I can be slothful and shit. I know I'm, tend to be not be like on time and shit and whatever. But that's different than just being defeatist or whatever, or just taking a reactionary emotional quip of like, fuck this or whatever, just because it didn't go right the first time or the first few times, or it's consistently becoming a fucking problem over and over again. Like, there's so many things like that in my own life and shit that to like collectively can bring you down. But it's just like, you gotta like throw out a bunch of that horse shit and just focus on what especially you can control. That's one key to not going fucking mad, for one. Or feeling like you're losing your sense of marbles and shit. It's like, you gotta keep it, like, no matter how observant you are with the big picture, you have to at least focus on what you can change with the smaller pictures. Or at least the smaller details in the picture. And, like that, I mean, to bring it back to my friend, that's why I think he should probably be in an institute or something for at least a little bit of time, because he needs an environment where like the biggest priority is how can he manage his own shit without having to get, and express frustrations and solve problems without having to go this reactionary emotional fucking downturn. Because like, for my friend Tyler, like, I do see him able to like overcome this shit. It's not like I see him just being a lost cause. I mean, he can, but I still think, he can be fished out before he goes too far gone in that type of sense. I mean, because for me, I honestly do think there's legitimate facts and things to look at currently to at least give you some sort of hope or whatever the fuck. Like, Bernie's searching in the polls right now. And, like, to me, that is just for, like, and the audio leaks of Trump saying that, like, he's legitimately kind of fearful of Bernie and hope he doesn't win, and how, like, he even admitted that he's worse on trade than he is. So it's just like, I mean, there's actual legitimacy to be said that, there can be actual change for the positive that can be done. And no matter what, and Carl always loves pointing this out, that it's going to be an uphill battle, and the likelihood of Biden making it is still very well alive, and still there. Dwindling, but still there. I mean, I think it's dwindling way more than it was earlier on in the primaries, but now it's, I think, dwindling more than ever. And the polls of him in the first 4 states of these caucuses and primaries, he's been in the lead or in margin of error of being in first or second. And he's rising consistently, over and over again. He's like been one of the only few who's gotten literally a room of Fox News viewers to fucking praise him over his policies. He's gotten Trump supporters in West Virginia to praise him over his policies on CNN. He's got, like, Bernie's legit, like, he's the one who's, like, if you, like, when Dems always talk about this whole coalition building horse shit, they never actually look at how to do it. Because Bernie never talks about it that much, but he actually knows how to fucking do a coalition or do unity building. Like, and because I'm all in favor of that type of shit too, unity or whatever the fuck, but I'm in it for a whole different reason. I'm in it so we can do for the betterment of everybody. Like, how do we, like, at least unify people enough so they can at least, get the like their best interest represented for them. Like, that's about as far as my unity goes, and I don't think you really need to go further than that. As long as you can at least, show that you're genuine, honest, and want to actually help those people regardless of their fucking beliefs or views or whatever the fuck, then I think that's the best type of unity building you can do. And Bernie does that type of shit. I think he does it to the point where it kind of fucking annoys me, where he does it to candidates like Biden and all this other shit. I wish he would just focus that more on the constituency and the people that are potentially going to vote for him, more so than the fucking candidates that he has to work with or fight against. That part annoys me, but that's why I say, maybe strategically at the end of the day, maybe him keeping the high ground no matter what, maybe is the best thing for him. Maybe. I see a lot of flaws and problems with that strategy, but maybe it works. Before I forget, I did something good. But watching me streams because my phone drops down real fast, so I brought a refurbished laptop coming Thursday. Nice. There you go. And actually, Stefan hit me up earlier today. I was like, hey, I think I found a way to maybe help you with your computer without having to figure out a plan to meet you over there because I live so far away and shit. And I'm like, oh, cool. So we're going to, maybe obviously not today because it's a little later now, but probably tomorrow, figure that shit out. So, but yeah, with what's going on in the primaries right now concurrently, especially with how much the establishment is going after Bernie now, I think that shows that he does have a fucking chance. There is legitimately at least a coin toss for me where he can make it. Of course, he's always. And I must always bring this out as a caveat. He's always going to have to fight an uphill battle, even if he does become president. Because the establishment just ain't going to just sit down and take whatever the fuck he's going to, try to do positive change. They ain't just going to take that. So it's going to be a fucking uphill battle every step of the way. And when it comes to this whole, movement and momentum about Bernie, it's not even about him. It's the it's everything around him. It's the momentum around him. It's the people around him that are truly, really, I think, are the ones who are making the changes when it comes to the Overton window and moving things more left and trying to get shit more in favor of just everyday people and shit. Because when the surrogates are calling out Joe Biden for being corrupt, despite Bernie, which pisses me off, apologizing for that shit. That's where the whole movement that Bernie's been trying to push this entire fucking time is where he's talking about, is that type of shit. I think just because of strategy right now, he's doing this, apologetic shit and keeping the high road, which again, I am fucking critical of because it annoys the shit out of me. But, with this though, with just everything pointing right now, I think legitimately, I think we might see a nomination of Bernie. If he makes the first round of the primary votes, he's got it. Because where the DNC will truly have manipulative power with their superdelegates is in the second round of voting. And that only happens if the first round is contested. So, right now, the likelihood that I'm seeing of that shit being contested is starting to drop less and less. Early on in these primaries, as a lot, I'm sure you and a lot of others will probably remember if they watch me enough, I was heavily critical that it probably would. But right now, it's actually starting to look like the opposite, possibly. Where the first round might actually be enough to make it. I don't know how much Bernie will win in that, if he does, but it would probably be pretty close. I don't think he's just going to landslide that shit. No matter what, I don't think he's going to landslide that type of stuff. I think it will be very, 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 very close with those things. Warren has really dropped in the polls. Yeah, because she's a corporate fucking snake. Not even Stefan, tries to rebut against that type of thing. He just doesn't like to smearing against Warren with that type of shit. But honestly, it's just nah, she deserves it. Because she has she's been a lying, facetious careerist, corporatist, her entire career. Bernie's been pushing his same message while she was a Republican. So this idea that she's like the second best choice is fucking stupid. I mean, like, if we want to look at, like, policy substantive-wise, like, second best choice would probably be either Yang or Tulsi, but that's, like, a distant second. A distant second. Because there's a lot of problems with both of them that I have. Way more than Bernie. Bernie is more, like, strategy-wise is where my critiques of him lie mostly. While with people like Yang or Tulsi, it's that and, you know, policy as well. I mean, there is policy I disagree with Bernie fundamentally as well with, but far and few in between, and definitely not as important. Or at least when it comes to, like, you know, what needs to be done, you know, priority-wise for the country. Like, what he, like, when it comes to healthcare infrastructure, trying to end wars and things like that, like, he's, that, like, I'm pretty much, like, have the same positions that he does, or further, but, yeah. Bernie gets the nod, I can see Stefan with a smile plastered with him for a while. Oh, definitely. Like, dude, you're gonna see me fucking cheering out in the goddamn streets. Like, you're gonna see me, like, drinking in fucking joy, like, fuck it! You know, you're gonna see me going nuts over that shit. Because now it's like, like, the chance and the time is, like, when that happens, you're gonna be seeing me go on, like, the time is now speech or something. Like, the time is fucking now. This is our chance. This is the momentum we've been looking and waiting for all this fucking time. This is what we needed in 2016. And now here we are, finally getting it. And now we're not going to let this fuck up. Like, you're going to see me do one of those big speeches. Drunk, high as fuck, with some homies maybe, just getting all intense about, like, why you know, this is, like, the greatest fucking thing to have happened in American politics in a long time. I mean, now it's just not losing it at that point. Like, if that's the case, at that point is carrying all the fucking momentum and cheering and, you know, victory laps we're making over that, and now going, you know, and now using that against the general. And honestly, I think Bernie's biggest fight will be in the primaries. That's why I think it would be okay to do a lot of celebratory victory laps and shit over the primary, because that's where the biggest fucking fight for him is going to be. I don't see that much of an issue of Bernie going after Trump. I don't. I personally don't. I think Bernie can do pretty good against him fairly easily. Like, I don't think it's hard. Like, if it was Biden or Warren, it would be a landslide again for Trump. But if it's Bernie, I think Bernie would. I don't think he'll landslide that shit. I don't think it'll be, like, strong. I don't think it'll even be within the margin of error. But I think he'll hold a pretty nice, decent little victory against him. Because they're both populists. At least one is only so in rhetoric, and the other one is across the board. So, I don't know, man. Like, that would be a really informative. The debates that would come out of that would be so fucking informative. Like, you'll get the memeage and entertainment out of Trump and shit, but dude, to watch him get called out for all the shit and then try to see him do his Trump Matrix bullshit, that's going to be great. Because we've seen Trump go tackle fuckers like Hillary, Biden, Buttigieg, and shit. Not like in debates and stuff. Well, with Hillary, yes, but not with the others. And they all are just fucking, like, they all just are little paper tigers to Trump, and it's, you know, and when we see Trump go after them, it's easy to see, like, oh yeah, landslide, easy. Trump will smash them, demolish them, like, skin them and make them a fucking pelt, you know, like I mean, he would just roast the shit out of them and make them a barbecue. Like, I mean, it would just be a landslide. But with Bernie, though, we haven't seen that. And if anything, Trump doesn't really go after Bernie too often. And every now and then he's actually kind of defended him. So, I don't know. Like, I really don't know how that would overall at the end of the day play out when it comes to the debates if it was a Bernie versus Trump debate. Because, in a weird way, I feel like Trump will kind of play up Bernie's likability in a weird way. Like, and I just don't, and I have a feeling because Trump, even if intentional or unintentional, he can be a clever motherfucker sometimes. I think it's unintentional cleverness, but, you know, I think he might weave some shit, of Bernie's likability in his favor. I don't know how, but it's Trump. Like, anything's fucking possible with that guy. I mean, for real. Did you see how upset the Republicans are about John Bolton testifying? I've heard, like, murmurs about that. Like, the Bolton revelations or whatever the fuck. I saw something about that when I was at the brewery pub yesterday with Tyler and Stefan. Because one of the TVs at the pub had CNN and had that. And I'm just like, what? Like, one, I really don't care because it's a foregone conclusion. Nothing's going to happen to Trump from this anyway. And two, I really don't care what the fuck Bolton has to say because he's a war criminal piece of shit and never met a war he didn't like. So honestly, his fucking word really does mean nothing to me. Like, I mean, it's just like whatever. I really don't care about what that criminal shitbag Bolton has to say against Trump. Like, he's just whining because he didn't get his way with shit like Korea and Iran. Even Giuliano. I like how you just say Giuliano instead. Was sent out of some... I'm surprised YouTube hasn't caught on that. Was sent out on some news talk shows to degrade Bolton, liar, and backstabber. Ironically, as the guy who never ceases to tell a lie is out there trying to say he's the liar. I love how they basically make Giuliano the guy that is basically like, here, project the idea that we lie and be that. Just basically be the guy that lies for us and just project that on everybody else. And he's just like, okay, all right, I am the Nosferatu goblin. Well, I guess since he never ceases to tell a lie, then I guess I am not a Nosferatu goblin. I will not come to suck your blood. I am Giuliano. You know when Giuliano's lying, his mouth is open. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the root of my joke. But yeah, I mean, I just like. Ironically enough, Tucker Carlson. I was actually just listening to that before I started this about how some commentary about it, and a little segment of him doing it, of him basically talking about how much these impeachment trials are such a snooze fest and like where the foregone conclusion is type of shit. And honestly, it's just like, man, it's so weird that Tucker Carlson is like lucidly right, even though it's not from the right place, but he's right. It's just like, it's so fucking weird. It really is kind of weird to just be like, damn, Tucker Carlson's actually like correct when he's saying these things. It's just like, wow, that's awesome. Thank you. I'm surprised you still have a show. Like, I mean, low-key though, I'm actually kind of surprised he still has this show on Fox. Maybe I guess it's just because Fox knows they have like a paleo-conservative appeal where there's a lot of conservatives who are anti-war and shit. What will they do when they're all gone? Same old, same old. Find another source of political theater to use. Like, first it's the Mueller reports, and now it's the fucking impeachment trials. Like, I mean, if Trump gets a second term, they're gonna just move on to some other shit. When Trump and all his cronies, shoelickers will go, he'll just replace them. And if not, he'll just leave the position open. Like, dude, you do realize there are a lot of federal job positions that are just there, open, because Trump just hasn't bothered to fill them. Or the administration itself just hasn't bothered to fill them. Like, it just hasn't bothered. Like, there are just outright positions in our government right now, in the executive branch mainly, where there's just straight up no positions, like, that are, like, filled. They're just open. No one's taking them. No one wants them. So, you know what? It doesn't really fucking matter. Like, they're just, like, I don't see all of them fucking going anyway, because a lot of them are, like, because it's the GOP. Like, they're not leaving. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. Like, oh yeah, maybe McConnell might go away, but it's just going to be somebody else instead. So it doesn't really matter. It's just, that's why I say, same old, same old. They already talked about it. If Republicans don't give him fair trial, they may do another investigation and impeachment. Oh, so the impeachment didn't work, so we're going to do another impeachment trial. Hey guys, we're doing impeachment. We got Trump. Hey guys, we got Trump for like the 8 trillionth time. Even though we didn't actually get him. Like, bruh, guess what? That just enforces the foregone conclusion to me. This just enforces my point about how it's already a foregone conclusion and nothing's going to fucking happen. Because the first attempt at impeachment failed, so what do? Let's try again. Let's not really do much else but just try again and see if that works. And people wonder why Democrats lose and people on the left lose. It's ridiculous. He was doing a speech here in Wildwood, New Jersey, and it was on one of the Periscope channels, and it was so orange. Yeah, I mean, I actually remember, this is like a few months back, this is actually kind of old, but I remember, like, Trump complained that the media makes him look orange. Like, they doctor footage, photos, and shit to make him look more orange than he really looks. And it's like, Trump, bro, okay, dude, like, come on. Like, we know, everyone knows that you have orange spray tan that you just plaster on your face. Like, bruh, just own it. Like, we all know. Like, if you want to stop looking orange, then stop putting the shit on yourself. Or don't put so much of it on you, I don't know. Either sprayed so much or fell asleep under the heat lamp. No, it's a spray tan. Like, it's an actual orange type of spray tan. I'm not fucking kidding. That's exactly what the fuck it is. Like, people might want to argue on that one, be like, yeah, I don't know about that one, but no, it is. It is. No, it is. It is. Like, just look at a picture of Trump when he's just, like, exceptionally orange, and just, like, and then just, like, study it. Just study it for a minute. I know it would probably be kind of grotesque, unless you like looking at him, but... I mean, but yeah, just observe him for a moment, and just, like, and tell me that it's not a fucking spray tan. I mean, it literally fluctuates. Like, his orange fluctuates. Like, not, like, in the moment, but, like, in any given day, sometimes it's more orange, and sometimes it's not as orange. So why is that? Because he's not spraying as much on him in the moment. Sometimes he's doing a good amount, or maybe it's just a quick little, you know, and there you go. Good. Like, so, it's a fucking spray tan. That's exactly what it is. Like, at the end of the day, it's speculative and with circumstantial evidence, but the gut tells me, man. This gut telling me. It's Orange Man to the rescue. I'm pretty sure that's an anti-hero. It's not a superhero. That's like an anti-superhero. Who's very, very orange tonight. Well, probably had a little extra spray on himself. It's like, look, I'm getting the sun even though it's not sunny. Look how tremendous I am. Ugh. Honestly, I wish somebody would just leak out, like, Trump's morning process on how he, like, gets ready for the day. Just like, alright, here's how Trump just starts his morning. You know? Like, I just want someone to, like, come from the White House that works very closely and personally with him to just, like, give us the details, you know? Give us the deets. Like, what's going on with that shit? I kind of want to know. You know what I mean? Because I'm just, like... because you just gotta... Like, I just want to know, like, how much of his, like, dress-up bullshit is, like, him doing it, or, like, the makeup lady or dude who's doing it. Like, I kind of want to know. Like, I want to know what he does and what he doesn't do. I'm watching my phone drop 1% every 3 minutes. Damn. Has to be him. Nah, because he, like, with that hair, he's got a stylist working on that. Like, when it comes to that hair that he's got going on, that ferret on his head, like, there's a stylist. Like, there's a professional working on that. That's not him doing that. So, that, he's definitely got professionals, you know, to some extent working on that type of shit. Like, there's definitely, like, a level where there are professionals working on his stuff. But, it's just like, how far is that? Can't be real anymore, his hair. It's not real. It definitely isn't. I guarantee you he has, like, some disturbing surgery or some shit that's, like, in the back of his head or whatever the fuck. I'm sure he's got, like, some like, if he was bald, I'm sure there's, like, some disturbing shit going on his head. Like, I wouldn't want to know, personally. I actually just kind of shuddered at the thought of that. Ugh. I think when he leaves office, we will see a photo of him bald in the middle. He is. No, he is. And there's already proof of that. Like, when he's, like, walking up to Air Force One and shit, like, walking up to the presidential jet and stuff, and the wind is crazy, like, sometimes, like, that 2P fucking shit that's on, like, one side will flop all the way to the other side. And it'll just be, like, an obvious bald spot that's, like, you know, on the top of his head going to the back of his head. Like, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I guarantee you, he's got, like, some crazy fucking surgery shit on the back of his head to try to help with that shit. But he just has one side of his hair long as fuck, kind of like mine. Maybe not as long as mine, obviously. Where he, like, probably, like, down to here, like, shoulder length maybe. Where he will just, like, style it out so it kind of, like, will... Where he, like, flips it, has it, like, kind of wrap here, and then, like, move forward here, and then slide off to the other side. Like, he does, like, some weird fucking shit up there, dude. It's just, like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, only a professional could actually work with shit like that. Maybe he should start wearing hats like you. Honestly, if he had, like, some, like, mafioso fat cat fedora type of, like, hat, I think it would look better on him. Like a wide-brimmed fedora or something, like a black wide-brimmed fedora for his suits and shit. Honestly, that would just make him look more sinister. And I would actually kind of respect that out of him a little more. I'd just be like, oh, damn. He's actually rocking that fucking mafioso fedora hat right there. He's got the wide brim and everything. Damn. Got a good shine on the brim of that hat. Damn. It's like, wow, he's actually kind of, he's styling, you know? Like, I'd actually kind of compliment him there for if he rocked one. Like, he should. Like, instead of wearing those MAGA hats and shit, he should start wearing, like, those wide-brim fedora hats. Like, you know, the mafiosos would have, like, in the 50s and shit, in the 40s and the 20s and 30s and whatever the fuck. Like, I mean, he should be rocking, like, you know, like one of those Al Capone hats and shit, because Al Capone's a big beef boy himself, you know what I mean? So, like, I mean, Trump's the same way, you know, just in a more unhealthier way than Al Capone probably was. But they were rocking those wide brim hats, you know, man. I don't know, dude. Like, honestly, Trump should probably rock a wide brim fedora cap. He should. I think he would actually look kind of badass a little bit. Like, I would actually kind of compliment him on that type of thing. I can't help but staring at the three-wheeler behind you. Oh, that little trike. Dude, that's been there since, like, 1994. Okay, maybe not that long. This house isn't even that old. Like, it's about... this house is slightly younger than I am, actually. But honestly, that thing could probably be a collector's piece. Like, I don't think there's anything really fucked up with it, besides it just being so dusty from, like, decades of just... well, 2 decades, at least, of just hanging there. Well, maybe less than 2 decades. Because, I mean, it was mine when I was just a wee little lad, so... Honestly, like that thing could probably get refurbished up, polished, maybe a little refurbishing on the paint job, and honestly, that pretty, like refurbish the leather little string bits on the end there, and honestly, that could probably go for a pretty good amount. Probably be a collector's piece. I was thinking with a laptop, your head will be so much bigger. Yeah, you can actually see the screen and see more details and pick out random other shit. Picture's so small on the phone. I'm used to it. Like, I'm used to just all the various different screen sizes, and I just don't want like the screen size for my phone. Like, if it was any smaller, I would start having problems. Not really because I won't be able to see anything. That wouldn't necessarily be the issue. It's because I have just fat fucking hands. They're not really huge, but for my body and size, like I mean, they're dinky. But for my size, being 6'2", they're pretty big. I got 15 inches. Is that the laptop screen or the phone screen? Because if that's the phone screen, god damn. That's like what the fuck type of phone you got, dude? Like, what the hell? Like, what type of phone is, like, over a foot? Like, what? What the fuck? I mean, I'm pretty sure that is the, laptop screen. I couldn't afford the 18-inch laptop. Yeah. Well, hey, I mean, yeah, I figured it was like, okay, hold up now, because I was, like, for a second there, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I think the one I got, my old one that I have stored up, is, like, what? Like, either it's like an 18 or a 20-incher, something like that. This phone's driving me nuts. Yeah. I mean, that's why when it comes to phones, I try to be utilitarian about it. Like, I just kind of see phones as just a phone. I don't really want, like, these 3-camera bullshit nonsense thing that's overpriced. Like, because even, like, at the retail shop of, like, the carrier that I go to, like, this phone was, like, 150 or, like, less, just a little under 200 bucks. I think it was, like, 180, something like that. And so, like, this, I mean, I've had it for probably, like, out of all my smartphones, this is probably the one I've had the longest, and I actually fucking mean that. Like, I've had it for at least well over a year and a half now. Probably a little more. Because, like, any other smartphone barely lasted a year. If that. Because the screen got so fucked that it just wouldn't work. Or the battery, because I can't take it out, got fucked. Or whatever the hell. Like, the worst that this phone's got right now is just a very mildly cracked screen, and the USB outlet's a little fidgety. Other than that, it still works fine. I mean, it's a little slow now because of being older, but, it still works. Like, until this phone basically just can't be used anymore, like, I'm not gonna get another one. No, look at the clock. When you started, I was at 49, now 24. Well, don't feel too bad, because I was at, like, fucking 82%, now I'm at 68. So, it's not like my phone does relatively the same when it comes to that forte. At least when I do these. If I'm just, like, listening to a YouTube video in the background, screen on or off, it doesn't drain that long. It's like, I usually listen to, like, long end videos, like hour and a half, streams or podcasts, stuff like that. And that might drain the battery, like, 5% maybe. And that's if I have the screen on. Maybe it'll be more like 2 if it's off. So it doesn't really do it that much if I'm not doing anything else. This phone sucks. Well, technology wasn't meant to be... Like, unfortunately, technology in this system was not meant to be quality. It's meant to be how much we can get produced for the cheapest so we can make the most amount of money on it. That's how it's ran. Instead of, like, how can we make the most quality product, so it actually fucking functions. Like, I mean, because I'd rather have that class I have on Periscope and a friend or two in there when they stream. You watch a fucking class? There's like an online class on Periscope? What the fuck? Huh? Can't really complain about that. It's actually kind of cool. Gonna eat this banana real quick. Have a little snack. Oh, it's a fun one. The guy's funny. Oh, hi. Entertaining too. Unless he knows how to be a character. It's not a burger. It's just a fucking banana. I've been having these a lot lately. And the whole idea of that this shit increasing your libido, it's fucking true. I don't know what it is about the last couple days, but I don't know what it is about bananas. But goddamn, does this shit really boost that libido up? I don't know why, but it just does. Maybe it's just because, like, our bodies, or, like, or at least our brains, think about just the way it's shaped, because, let's just be honest, it looks pretty fucking phallic. Let's just be fair. I mean, it's, like, smaller than your average size, but, I mean, you know, it's about the same thing, you know, almost. So it's just like, you know, I think it's just because our brains just process it in that way, and then, you know, just, I don't know. At least that's how I think about it, but then again, I do like dick, so. You need a burger? I did last night, and it was fucking amazing. It was like $5 at the brewery pub. Plus, with your first order of beer at that place, it was like Monday, Friday, or something like that, and you get like a free set of fries. And I was just like, dude, fuck yeah. I'm gonna tell you something, then I'll comment for it. So you don't get mad when I... What? My first solid stream set of private. I thought you and Harley went at it. Dude, the fuck, even if the stream was private, like, that type of shit would just be taken down. Like, no, that definitely... Like, I mean, if him and I went at it, like, and it was on stream, we'd probably just make out. Like, because you could get away with that still, at least. At least to some extent. I don't know actually how, like, far you can go with that, honestly. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I mean, honestly, it might, just because of the fucking shit that was being said and me trying to not have it being, like, overheard that well. That's just my first thought. Honestly, like, I don't think, like, him and I would probably do anything on streams or anything, if he is ever, like, on a stream or anything. So, I mean, chances are that, like, if he is, he'll probably just be more in the background. More so than just, like, way up here. I mean, I don't know. Oh, well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He might make more appearances in the future. that. You cut the sentence off. Are your buddies used to what? It, you didn't finish the sentence. You didn't finish it. How am I supposed to know what the hell you've been saying? What? What? Have to was fast and what's the fun? Yeah, I mean, because again, he lives like so out of the way that he just doesn't make appearances over here that much, which is fine. Whenever we get an opportunity, we all try to get together, hang out, and shit. So, yeah. Memories may be beautiful, but it's just finish the whole sentence in one chat. You got like over 200 characters you can use in a comment. I gotta go to the bathroom real quick anyway, so I shall return. Which I need for the spin peel it up anyway. There. Boom. Barbara Streisand singing in my head. Having a Streisand effect in your head. The Streisand effect, the Streisand effect comes back to bite you in the ass. Streisand effect, Streisand effect coming to bite you in the ass. What else is new? Well, I don't know. I mean, not too much. Just kind of that China flu spreading. It's called coronavirus, but yes, and it's. I mean, it's. I don't know what else to really say about it. I kind of looked into it, and honestly, it's seriously not something to be as freaked out about. I mean, it really is definitely something to be worried about. I mean, when it just comes to the general public health, of course, but it's something that someone my age would actually be, like, can fight off and be fine over time, eventually. Because the main people who are getting infected are people who are either elderly or children. They're the main ones who are getting infected, and the ones who are dying are ones who have very, very poor immune systems. So, and as of right now, at least, there's no treatment for it. As of right now. So, for someone like me, it's not as big of a concern, but obviously I should still be worried about it, because, I don't, obviously I don't want to be getting sick and nothing, but, I mean, it's, like, it's something that's just like, hey, here's something we should all get together as an international community and work on developing a vaccine and treatment for these type of things, and get it out to the people once we have found a cure and found ways to treat it properly. And then, there you go. And just get that to the mass public. Like, that's something that I think can easily be done, and I think it would be good to help, ease tensions with other countries too, because we're all trying to cooperate on fighting a common problem. So, like, I would see that as something that'd be pretty good. So, I mean, I don't think that would actually happen really at the end of the day, but who knows? I could see that being something that could possibly happen, where a lot of the community, international community, especially the medical science community, comes out to try to help deal with shit. I know, especially China is already rushing to try to figure a way to treat it and combat against it. It would have killed me. But it could possibly. I mean, like, that's why I say the primary people getting infected are youth and elderly, like children and seniors and elderly, especially ones with very at-risk immune systems. So, I mean, you can potentially, if you have a strong immune system, fight it off enough to where you can survive it. But from that, though, that just kind of depends. China has quarantined several large cities. Oh, yeah. Like, Wuhan and a bunch of other large cities around it, like, a population equivalent to this population of Canada has basically been quarantined. Which, when it comes to these type of big regional plague outbreak instances and scenarios, it's understandable. Like, I would, if I was in charge, I would do the same. So, like, we want to minimize the spread as much as possible. And another thing about the coronavirus is that the only way you can get affected is if you come in contact with another individual that happens to be infected with it as well. And, so as long as there's no, like, cases of infection in your city or wherever you're at, you should be fine. Like, I don't think there has been any in Portland or any in Oregon around here or whatever, so for me right now at least, I don't really got too much to worry about. Still something to be kind of raising eyebrows and questions and awareness towards, like questions on how we're going to get this shit cured and stuff, and, so it doesn't, down the line end up becoming a problem, here, so, yeah. My mom used to say we cure one disease and God sends another. I see the humor in that one. I mean, you're yawning, you tired? No, I'm actually not really, like, tired. But I did sleep in today, so. It's probably just, like, my brain's still warming up, like, from 3 or 4 hours ago, however long. But, like, my brain takes a while to warm up, and, like, my body to kind of, like, warm up and stuff. I'm kind of like a slow riser type of guy. I think that's just how I am, how I've been, because, like, every morning, no, every time, it's always the same. I'm like, alright, give me a little bit, my brain will wake up enough, then I'll start getting the body wake up enough, and we're moving. You know, it's just like, it's always been like that, ever since. It's ever since I can remember. Like, I've rarely have ever remembered a time where I'm just like, boop, up. Just boom. And if I am, I crash really quick because my body is not used to that. So. Your brain's like a car in winter, you gotta warm it up. Lol. Kind of, yeah. Yeah, you gotta warm it up. Yeah. What I was about to say though is just like with the cure one disease and God sends another. It's not necessarily God sending them. It's just they've always been there. It's just that there's just now a new disease that's either evolved or we just haven't been like exposed to drastically as much yet, and eventually causes mass infections. I mean, every year we always have like a new evolved version of the flu and cold and stuff like that. So every year it happens. Luckily, the worst thing I got was just a stomach bug. Mr. Tomate's too flat. And he's fine. He's nuzzled perfectly. He's nuzzled perfectly within all the other tomates. I mean, he's bundling up the other tomates for warmth. But don't block your face. Well, that's why he's kind of down there anyway, because like sometimes I'll be back here, but look, it's already partially blocking the face, so it's just like, you know, it just makes more sense to just have him a little more down there with his tomato friends. It's not Mr. Tomato, it's Signor Tomato. Signor Tomato. Signor Tomato. That's not how you spell it, but okay. I mean, it's Spanish for sir, Signor. And then Tomat. I mean, it's SNN with that little squiggly on the top of it. And then OR, I'm pretty sure. Signor. Signor Tomat. Did I get missed calls then? What the fuck? What's this? Oh, nope, I didn't. Okay. That was from like way earlier when I was asleep. Okay, whatever. See me, not see me again until after Thursday, but I didn't die. Okay, okay. I'm not worried. I'm not too worried about someone randomly dying if they haven't been here in a while. I just assume that they just are living a life and doing other shit that, you know, isn't just like sucked into YouTube and shit. Because, you know, at least I hope that you know, everybody, at least to some level, has that at least. But some people don't. Some people do. At least I think I'll be alive. Well, yeah, you can never be too sure. You never know what could happen. So, I mean, shit. Like, after I was going for my stomach bug, I kind of was like in a weird fog of just like, why am I like here right now? I don't feel like I should be here. Like, or whatever the fuck. I had just like this feeling of like, what the fuck? You know, just like, ugh. Like, right at, like, it was just ridiculous. Ugh. Well, there was like straight up a point during that ordeal where I was just like, will I not make it? I was just like, will I not? Will I not? But nah, I was gonna be fine. So, we all be good. I'll come back as a ghost, let you know the afterlife. Have fun with that. You're talking to a failure that doesn't believe in such things, you know that. Because, like, every time I've seen a photo of a supposed ghost or footage, I've always been able to find a way about how that type of shit's kind of bullshit. Especially, like, old photos, because those are actually far more easier to explain. Because it's just, like, if you look at, like, some 1800s like, 1870s or whatever the fuck, and you're seeing, like, some, like, hand or something, or whatever the fuck, that might be on someone's shoulder, and they're, like, in a group photo. Because of the processing of how photos were taken at the time, it took, like, you had to stand there for a very long time. So chances are somebody in the group was just like, you know, had their arm on someone's shoulder for a minute during the taking of the photo. And while that was going on, put it down and left this weird little transparent, vague little, like, ghostly hand in the photo after processing. It's actually kind of cool, but, you know, easy to explain. It's actual reason. It's not like some ghost put a hand on some person. The sister from 8 years ago that died at the age of 4 put their little hand on them. If they were alive, that would be the size of their hand today. It's just like, oh god, please stop. Okay. I'm not saying please stop to you necessarily. Just like the hyper, like, analytical ghosts, like theorists and shit. I mean, because if we really want to legitimately try to prove that shit, I think we would have at least some means of trying to find ways of figuring that out by now. Because we have so many we have so much type of technology that can see so many different forms of, like, material or compound molecular structures and shit that we can't really see, because, like, literally, while you're not seeing it, all around me and you too, even, it's just gas. Oxygen is a gas, and that's just, and you know, so if it was visible, we would just basically be in a fat fucking cloud of oxygen. Because mixed in with other shit, like nitrogen and other stuff. And here, probably it's nicotine and cigarette, marijuana smoke, and, you know, who knows what else. I take class of this old lab, and here's doors close and... Hold on, I can't read that last one because of the fucking bump blocking it. And shadows. Doors closing and shadows. You know rooms are pressurized, right? So if you have an open window or open pocket in a room that's wide enough to, like, let's say if wind blows in, could potentially close a door. I've had it happen in my room plenty of times, so I leave my window open, my door's open, it'll just suddenly close. Sometimes it'll slam close if it's super windy. And it's not because there's some ghost, it's because it's just the pressure of the wind and air in the room changing, causing waves and movement and stuff within all the gas and all that bullshit, causing something to close. And shadows, probably some literal physical thing causing the shadows that are moving around. I'm always surrounded by gas when I eat too many burgers. Would have made more sense if it was burritos. Bean burritos. Or just beans. Good old beans. Chili beans. But, but yeah. I couldn't close I couldn't door closed in your room, bucko, with that mess. There isn't even a mess in there. So, whatever. Like, I can open that and close that door pretty easily. It's not that fucking hard. It's called twist the doorknob, push. The close, reverse. Without really doing anything to the knob, because you don't need to. Like, okay, whatever. I just don't care. Trying to my jokes for tonight. Kind of fell flat. They kind of fell flat there, sir. Just a little bit. I'm only been going on for an hour and 21 fucking minutes. Really? It feels like over 2 hours. What the fuck? Well, I know how this day is just going. Amazing. Amazing. Alright, I'm just gonna double check, make sure that is not 2. Yeah, that's a 1. Yeah, it's only been 1 hour. Wow. So I'm not a comedian, just an old guy. Old guys can be comedians too. Look at Jeff Foxworthy. Look at Bill Cosby. Well, okay, maybe that's a bad example. But still, there's old fucking comedians. This guy worked on an act. Shit, I'm not a comedian, but, I've done my little fling of acts before. On these streams I do it occasionally. I tried, but still. It was worth a shot. It was worth a shot. I know I definitely won't be able to kind of fling off any random little bit right now because I'm just kind of low energy today. Some days I'm just going to be kind of low energy anyway, so it is what it is. I just had a Chinook fly near treetop level over my house and blind me with the spotlight while I was roasting on my porch. Keep in mind it's pitch black here. What the fuck? What the fuck? Dude. What in the fuck? You had a straight up Chinook with treetop level with a house blind your white ass with a spotlight just roasting it. What the fuck? Dude, I have so many questions. Like, what made you get SEAL Team 6 to come try to break down on your ass? Like, holy shit. Damn, bro. Damn. Just whoa. Holy shit. Wow. Just damn. Just don't even know what to say to that one. It just fly by, or did he actually stop and what's this person doing? It's what, we're gonna shine a spotlight on you with our Chinook. What's going on here, bruh? What are you doing down there roasting that? Is that a cigarette, or is that the reefer? Is that the reefer down there, boy? SEAL Team 6 confirmed on reefer. Take him down. It's just all right, boom. Just suddenly just start roping down on your ass. It's holy shit. What the fuck? What the fuck? What other context is to that? What the fuck? Like, I kind of have more questions than answers on this one. Just a random Chinook out of nowhere, treetop level, just flies over, blinds you with a spotlight while we're just roasting on the porch. Like, damn. I can't even stretch around with all these fucking jackets bundled up. It's not even really that cold in here anyway. Open. Jesus. There we go. Oh, there we go. Scooch it all, Roo. Wanting to line the day up a little. I mean, it's not like it's like blackened by the darkness of the black hole of death and despair. It's not like I'm in that or whatever the fuck. I'm just like, it's kind of low energy. Probably with a little bit of a garden variety kind of depression flopped in there too, you know, because that's just a daily struggle for me. But I mean, you know, besides that type of shit, I'm not doing too bad. The F-15 factory is there. He didn't stop, he just had to aim it in my path. This guy flew by. Damn. Donaldson Air Force Base, that's where they were headed. A base here in Greenville. Okay. Damn. I've seen Chinooks and stuff around here before because we got the Portland International Airport, because that's also an Air Force base too. I don't know why I have these headphones on. There's been nothing playing this entire time. Countdown to Iowa. Officially 1 week. I actually went on a whole spiel about like an hour ago about like my feelings on that type of shit. Though I'm just like right now I'm just like, okay, do I even want to go down on that one again? I might. Hold on. I'll be right back though. I want to grab something. Grab a little something. Ugh. Back, bing, back, boom. Electric boogaloo. Oh, look at me causing issues. F-18's there for the Gulf states. This is 21 spotlight was thrown on my. Oh, let's get out of here. On my fucking Porsche, it was bright. Fucking nearly. You nearly hit the trees just about. I could have thrown a rock and hit it. Damn. So I imagine the base is probably not that close. And I love how there's the emphasis on the going to the Gulf states, because I love how we don't even produce our military equipment for us that much anymore. You sell it abroad and let other nations play with our toys for tax dollars. Wasted on more military expenditure. Lovely. So. I like how, like a minute ago, I was like, I'm not cold. And I come out here with a fucking ice cream sandwich. Just to be like, yeah, let's get myself cold. I don't feel the burr. It's a few miles away. So very much dead ass, there wasn't really any reason for him to be fucking treetop level. Damn. Went to the World War II Air Museum at the base before. That's pretty dope. Damn. There's a civilian airport there too. Yeah, that's pretty much like what PDX is. It's an international civilian airport, but there's pretty much like one little corner of it that's dedicated for the National Guard Air Force here. So, at least for our Air Force base in Portland, it's the National Guard. They're not selling them fucking military equipment overseas. That's for Seattle and Boeing and over there for them to do. Not really on our side. So, yay! We're not that guilty. So, at least we got that. But we still do, like, every state participates in that massive military industrial complex. The bullshit anyway. Every state. Like, every state, I think, has a part in developing the new generation F-35, which has been literally probably the biggest waste of fucking money ever. Like, when it comes to trying to develop a new jet, it's not like the last one prior wasn't good or whatever. Even though it's pretty much the same fucking thing, it's just mildly upgraded. But somehow we can't get this one working. It's just like, wow. I mean, it's fuck. This, that's why I'm kind of like, am counting down to Iowa myself. I'm kind of like, I'm reluctant to make a prediction right now, but I feel like I'm gonna probably make one here pretty soon about Iowa, at least, because I at least have because I think there's at least a hypothetical, to what can happen if Bernie gets Iowa / at least 3 other states of these next 4. And I'm just thinking, like, I mean, that, and it just seeing that seems like to be a growing and growing chance. And it's just like, and Biden's chances are just dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. Of course, the likelihood of Biden there is obviously, but I mean, the thing is, if Bernie does, which it's very looking like he will, and, and if he does win Iowa, I think that at least we'll start seeing the early momentum of him making his way towards the nomination. I'll make a prediction: if Bernie wins Iowa and New Hampshire, he gets the nomination. If Bernie loses, either he loses the nomination. I'd say that's at least definitely a safe prediction. Because, I mean, I'd grow it to, I want a more stronger solidification of it, so I'd say at least the next 3 states. New Hampshire, Iowa, and what's the other fucking state? Massachusetts or something like that. I don't know what the first like 3 or 4 states are specifically, besides Iowa, New Hampshire, and whatever. Superdelegates give me great concern. Oh, they definitely do. Like they don't like. I was out earlier, like a little over an hour ago, when I was rambling off about this with Joe here. I was like saying that, you know, these superdelegates, like especially when it comes to the second round, if it gets to that point, they will play a serious role. Like, and that's what seriously concerns me. It's not really them themselves. It's how they can play the factor, like how they're looped in. It's the structure of how they get looped in. And it's that second round of votes, which is what I'm very fucking concerned about. Like, my main concern is how contested is the primary going to get. Because, like, yeah, Bernie might win those first 3 states. But it's still going to be a fucking uphill battle regardless, even with that momentum. And yeah, that definitely, I would say for me at least, solidifies his chances on getting that nomination. But there's still that chance where it could get contested, though. Because if he just wins the first 4 states and then doesn't win anything else, somehow, on some random reason or another, then that it just won't mean shit. So it's just like, I mean, it's not just those first 4 states. Like, so it's, you know, you gotta look at, you know, about these other states, you know, it's just using that momentum and continuing with it. And, you know, at every win we get, we just scream, fuck yeah, and just move fucking harder, and just keep getting more determined on getting those victories. And if we lose, it's just like, god damn it, and then we can fight harder. You know, that's kind of the whole point about it. Like, I mean, you know, like, the establishment, you know, there is a chance to really fuck out, you know, the establishment on this one. You know, where the superdelegates won't play that much of a concern. But for me, though, I still see them as a pretty big threat. Because they're influenced and controlled by the DNC, because they're the ones who are anointed by them, basically. You know, there's not that many superdelegates that are outright for Bernie. There's, like, a tiny minority of them. And, you know, and they're going to influence it against them. I mean, they did last election. If it gets to the second round, they will again. So, the establishment will do nothing to stop it, making sure that this primary gets contested so they can get the influence. I can boycott DNC by going independent. You should be doing that already. Like, they are, like, consistently, all the time, ever since 2015, have been smearing and undermining him from the start. And will continuously. Like, I've been telling the DNC to go fuck themselves since the start. So, like, fuck them. They don't get my sympathy. And because of their influence they play, so I definitely see them as a primary threat. And in every way, shape, or form that they play in, no matter how benign or serious it is. Like, the only reason why I have any quote-unquote affiliation with the Democrats is because of Bernie. That's the only reason why. Gonna burn one last chance. Well, I am too, but I'm not, you know, letting the DNC, you know, pull any favors out of that, because they work against them. Like, I barely check into what the fuck they do, because whatever it is, it's just going to undermine Bernie. So fuck them. Bernie's chances are increasing, but still slim. Superdelegates are most likely going to cancel his ass. Yeah, and how they will do that is the second round of votes. That's where it lies. Because last election, they were just there with the first round the entire time. But this time, it's a second round. Everyone knows mainstream media has been completely panicking by Bernie's surge. Because they know if they just completely ignore him, they will look even stupider than they already do. Because at this point, they have to acknowledge that, yeah, he's kind of a threat. And they do see him as that. That's why there's that whole bait and switch with Warren when billionaires months ago were saying, oh, we're scared of Warren. Nah, no, they're not. They're scared of fucking Bernie. They were just ignoring him because that's the strategy. Ignore the real threat, and hopefully it goes away and people don't notice it. Oh, shit, it's actually more prominent. Well, let's start noticing it and panic and start and smearing it. Go attack it. Nah, you're bad. I mean, I mean, that's how they work. So when they, like months ago, when you had billionaires and mainstream media pundits saying they were fearful of Warren because she's a progressive, even though she's just a corporate snake, at the end of the day, they were doing favors for her. While she was going to do favors back for them. That's how they work. And that's why Bernie, up until recently, was mostly silent or smeared when it came to the mainstream media's voice on him. Back-to-back articles. Trump would completely push over Bernie here. Here's why Bernie would beat Trump. Yeah, like Newsweek, I think one day was saying here's how Dems can beat Trump, and then literally the very next day because the first one was like about Bernie, and the second one's like here's why Bernie will lose to Trump, like the very next day. It's just like, what the fuck? It's like, how much of a flip-flopping dipshit are you, Newsweek? Like, what the fuck? Definition of sanity. Dem Vandals do the same thing over and over again, expecting, well, this time it's going to be different. Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the definition of insanity there. Same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I mean, when it comes to this whole political process, there's at least that one grain of opportunity we got, but beyond that, that's why I check out. Like, I look for the opportunities. Like, when it comes to politics and voting and all this shit, I'm kind of am opportunistic when it comes to my ideas and shit. Because it's like, if there's something there that actually I agree with, then I'm going to go for it. But beyond that, I'm just not going, I'm just not going to care because it's working against me regardless. So I participate in something that's just fundamentally against my own interests. Chomsky said, if through some miracle Bernie gets elected, he'll have birth parties working against him in the legislature. Definitely. He will have very few allies in either side. He might have Rand Paul and Mike Lee on some issues, and he might get AOC, Tlaib, and the usual squad or whatever the fuck, in Congress and Senate, whatever. But beyond them, he's got no allies besides the people in the constituency and voters. And at that point, and Bernie even emphasizes this on, like, it's not just me who's going to need to do the work here. It's like everybody, so it's just like, it's not just me. It's it's all the people too, so it's just like, because it is going to be an uphill battle. Like, he emphasizes that shit. Because especially from last election, I remember hearing about him saying those very same things. I don't see no reason why he wouldn't believe those now. I think I remember when he got interviewed by Kyle Kalinske, I think he mentioned something about that. In a more quicker sense, because he only had like 30 minutes or like an hour or some shit. Primary's going to be the hardest part. Oh, yeah. The primaries are literally going to be the biggest, hardest battle that Bernie's going to be fucking fighting. Kyle needs to run. He doesn't have the woke SJW baggage AOC has. He'd appeal to more people. Oh, definitely. I mean, he's the guy from, I remember saying he will never do that type of shit, to now, he's like, if I got it, I will. He's changed his position on considering on running or not. And for me, I do kind of hope he does on some level someday. I mean, I'm going to definitely miss listening to Secular Talk all the fucking time because I don't think he's going to have any time to do any of that. I'm pretty sure Secular Talk will just be transitioned into his, like, political page at that point where he's, like, checking it, it's like updating people what he's doing and shit. Like, that'd pretty much be what Secular Talk will be if he wins / runs and stuff like that. So it's just like, I would miss that, because, I mean, I check into that shit every fucking day. I'm not kidding. Like, I mean, when it comes to, like, alright, let's hear what's going on around the world, my first look up is Kyle Kalinske. Like, he's my first go-to. And then after that, I start looking at other shit. But, like, he'll be my first go-to, and from there, after I listen to all of the videos he uploads during the day, then I'll check out some other shit. So it's like, I mean, I will miss that, because I'll have to, like, really start expanding more into other content as well, which isn't a bad thing, but, I mean, it'll be like, damn. It'll be like, damn. So, it's just like, alright, who else out here is kind of like Kyle that does good shit? It's like, who else is out here like him? I mean, there's a lot of them, but, I mean, who's exceptional like him, you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, Kyle Kalinske is legitimately, like, such a rare breed. Like, I mean, there's definitely things I do disagree with him on, but that's not even the point. Like, he's just such a rare breed of, like, a political figure. Like, I mean, because, yeah, he's a lefty. I mean, a sock dem type of lefty, kind of a light type of lefty, but still, he is. And, I mean, and at the same time, he's never, I don't think ever, have done any of this woke scolding bullshit ever, while at the same time not really even jumping onto some grifty, like, SJW, like, thing or whatever. He just called it out how it was. He's just like, this is what it is, here it is, I hate this shit, fuck this. That's pretty much, it's always been his position. I mean, so, like, and I just, like, I mean, and knowing that there's even conservatives or right-wingers or this, like, various different people, even Alex Jonesian type of figures, out there respect him because of just how he articulates his views and how he articulates information and regurgitates it. Like, I mean, it's just such a rare fucking breed to me, honestly. There's not that many that I could really say that, kind of has that same mentality like he does. Instead of playing videos of AOC talk about we need to abolish whiteness, they'll play videos of Kyle Latin stories, telling stories about shit himself in high school with Corin. Fox News will, that is. Yeah. Like, they'll play videos, like, that's why Kyle out of context is a thing. Because you can get Kyle out of context saying the most randomest, most absurd, ridiculous things. And people will just laugh at it. Like, every time I see a Kyle out of context, I laugh my fucking ass off because it's hilarious. I mean, a lot of it ends up being the same stuff, and I actually do see some bits that are from older videos too, but still. Like, it's fucking great. I love them. They're amazing. Like, I mean, even if I've seen it in another Kyle out of context, I'll be like, oh, I remember from that other one, but, oh, damn, it's just like, oh, it's so good. I mean, because he just he doesn't even try being funny. Like, I don't think Kyle really tries. He just is his personality. Like, that's just his personality. I think he just has a part of himself that's just humorous. Like, he just has a humorous side of himself that he just loves throwing out there just because he likes having he likes having the good vibe type of thing going on with people and shit. And I'm kind of the same way, At least I try to be the same way. Like, where it's just like, hey, let's all have a fucking good time. Let's all have that good vibe going, It's just giggle, just, laugh about random bullshit and be like, what is this nonsense? What the fuck? Like, he just has that type of vibe, and I just love that. But, oh my god, you're amazing! But to be like, dude, like, you're genuinely on, like, every level, like, just an awesome type of character and a person. I mean, he just really is. I mean, I meme about him being legless and shit, or whatever the fuck. But honestly, I mean, knowing that he just accepts those things, like being a big seltzer sellout, all the memes about him not having legs and this and that, like, he just looks at those things and just loves it, honestly. Like, he loves those things, because it's just like, everyone's just having fun with it. I mean, he sees it as just being fun, and just being whatever. You're just memeing. Because, like, when you see Kyle do his videos, he's literally just, like, waist level up, and you never do you see his legs in his usual videos. So, hence the meme, he never has legs. So, it's just like, I mean, he's just a very, like, fun personality, to just, like, watch, listen to, and I hope maybe someday I can probably meet, because or at least, interact with at some point. Numerous vids of Kyle Kalinske came to be a Catholic molestation priest having surfaced from 2014. Dude, that shit's been going on even before then, son. Like, Kyle will just double down and be like, yeah, of course, because X, Y, and Z. Yeah, he would just, like, double down on it. Again, he's a rare breed. I mean, it's very rare to see people, especially on the left, to just be that genuine and at the same time not actually be a piece of shit, you know? There's a little hair from my rabbit fur on my hat that fell in my bowl. That's not appreciated. That's not appreciated, hat. Oh, damn. Cloudy. We got up to take piss on Jerry in his first appearance. Holographic legs. That's just what they are. At the end of the day, though, we all know that like, whenever we do see his legs, they're just hologram. They're just holographic. Like, he has a specialized belt that projects a hologram, but he actually floats on. Like, whenever he's not in his office flotation belt, which is basically like a chair that he floats on, which is what he's usually at. Like, he has like a belt that he can transport around on. So it looks like he's walking around with legs and sitting down at places, but in reality, he's just got a specialized belt that he wears. So, yeah, you gotta think about that. The funding of Big Seltzer is like the dark money invested in Big Seltzer is stupendous. Like, they can definitely afford such technology, or else we wouldn't have it displayed right before our eyes with Kyle. I love memeing about him. It's just a fun character to just, like, talk about, honestly. We need to see TJ Kirk go back on JRE. He's only been on twice. Kyle's been on 3 times since before TJ's last appearance. Yeah. I mean, that would be honestly really dope to see because I know they don't, like directly talk to each other, but I know they, like, have ways to contact each other. So it's just like, I mean, it'd be pretty dope to be like, hey, TJ, you know, like, pop on JRE or something like that. It's like, hey, Joe. Like, next time he should have took the opportunity when he was in LA. I think even a lot of other fans brought it up. Be like, hey, are you going to go on JRE or something? Should, like, have the whole cast be on, you know, have DFF be on JRE. Have just, like, a meta, like, crossover and shit. I mean, which would have been pretty fucking awesome, to be fair. Like, because then all 3 of them would be talking to Joe. That'd be pretty fucking cool. So, I don't know. I mean, you know, it would have been cool to see that, but at least, you know, TJ going back on there would be pretty dope. I mean, he's kind of like, I mean, to be fair, I mean, outside the TJ/DFF community, I mean, he has kind of went into obscurity a little bit. I mean, he doesn't really produce as much content as he used to, so, I mean, because he's so focused on Deep Fat Fried, so it makes total sense, at least. It's understandable, but, you know, it makes sense why, you know, not so many people will know him as much anymore in comparison. But either way, I think it'll probably be a good opportunity, especially with this year, you know, being interesting outlook the way it is. You know, with the very interesting potential this year's got going for itself. I mean, you know, there's definitely a lot. I mean, so I think there would be definitely a lot of good reason to definitely go on there for sure. Because, like I said, I mean, I'm pretty sure they at least have ways to contact each other. I mean, because I know they follow each other on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. So, Nick Abbott, Jesse's husband, of the anti-Zionist, anti-war guy who voted Trump, even though he's Jewish, made a video at a protest calling for the Catholic Church to be shut down. You should check him out. Nick Abbott. Oh yeah, I'll have to definitely check that out. Because I definitely totally in favor of that shit being shut down. Because, I mean, for real. Catholic Church just straight up like a horrible sex trafficking organization. Like, honestly, like, pedophilia is like not the only fucking thing wrong with them. There's, like, they've been ousted for, like, doing, like, sex slavery type of shit with nuns and stuff. Like, there's a lot of other fucked up shit along with them. I made a video that say about Zionism as a form of fascism. Interesting. I mean, I don't know if it is a form of it necessarily, but I guess that's why it'd be pretty interesting to check that video out. Because I think it's just its own separate thing, but still very horrible, authoritarianistic, and just piece. Yeah, I guess it can be. Yeah, I can see the correlations, I suppose. Going to AIDS ravaged areas and developing nations and telling people to discard contraceptives and have more children. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, that's another thing that is seriously wrong with the Catholic Church. Like, I mean, when it comes to, like, countries that have experimented with contraceptives or shit like that, and have had actual successes and things, it's because generally the Catholic Church hasn't also had any manipulation in it either. Like, a part of, not just because, technologically and, societally there as well, they haven't developed as much with it, but at the same time, there's, outside influences that exacerbate that as well, and the Catholic Church is one of them. Nazi collaboration, that definitely is there. I think near the end of Hitler's regime, he turned on them, but I think that was just because of his own insanity at that point. But for the longest time, they were major fucking collaborators. I mean, maybe they were all the way to the very fucking end. I mean, I could be wrong if Hitler turned on them too, but I think I remember at some point reading up where the church or Hitler turned on the church or some shit, something like that. I could be wrong though. Massive accumulation of wealth, even though many areas of the Catholic, yeah. I mean, they're pretty much another form of this wealth income inequality that on a secularized level, just in our normal national economy, have just done continuously for way fucking longer than our countries have existed. I mean, there's a lot of reasons as to why, not just because they're a religion, but there's legitimate, like, literal generations and centuries of crimes that have just continuously been like been committed, and all the way fucking through its history for the most part. Like, I honestly, I'm struggling to think of a time where there wasn't some random fucking crazy controversy that the Catholic Church has. Their untaxable transnational empire without any official borders. That's basically what it is. I mean, that doesn't sound no different to mega corporations like Amazon too, either. I mean, it's just all these different institutions and all these different organizations or corporations and shit all just, exploit the same type of fucking structural system. But hey, if the Catholic Church gets fucking knocked down a fucking peg on this, then might show an example. Like, oh shit. It's like they're not getting away with this shit anymore. Oh fuck, we should probably look out. Or maybe not. Damn, now we're at the finally 2 hour mark. Finally at it. Damn, just got dead. Just gone dead. 'Cause ain't that a shame? It's all good, though. I'll wrap it up, though, since we're going on for a good amount of time. A good 2 hours or so. I think that is as good as it's going to be. Yes. Did you see the Iraq protests? I heard a little bit about it. I didn't get too many details, but I know it's pretty much on an overall broad level. It's about, basically, U.S., get the fuck out. It's pretty much what the fundamental root of it is, as far as I'm understanding. They weren't just asking the U.S., they demanded all foreign powers to leave. Oh, all foreign powers. So they upped their game, not just the U.S., dude, good on the fucking Iraqis, man. I think the Iraqi people are just like, you know what, just fuck this. We're done. No, we're sick of this. We're done. Because you gotta think about it. Like, anyone who's like in their 20s now basically has never seen Iraq in a stable society. They've never seen a stable society. They never have had stability. They've never had just the idea of what basic fucking commerce is. So you have to imagine, like, you know, even though they grew up in a Saddam-based regime, their parents and their families and shit were like, yeah, I mean, things, at least back in our, you know, when we were growing up and alive, while, you know, before we, you know, you were all around, yeah, you know, shit was at least stable to some extent. They're afraid that the war's going to destroy the whole, their country. They also protested Iran and Turkey. Fuck yeah. I mean, honestly, good. I mean, I'm good on them. I mean, I'm showing solidarity for that. Fuck yeah. I mean, like, cause I mean, they should have been doing that since the very fucking beginning, you know. Like, I mean, it's good to see them now finally be like, enough of this. We're done. Enough of the bloodshed. Enough of our country being a fucking just playground for foreign powers, you know, to just fucking, you know, slaughter our people as much as theirs. For what, you know? Because because you gotta think about these type of people, because all they want to do is just, like, you know, live in their little homes and land and just tend to their families and shit, just not have to worry about, you know, whether they're gonna, you know, get bombed at a fucking market, you know, because, oh, you know, there might be someone who's a terrorist, but, you know, why do I give a shit? I just want my bread and hummus and shit, you know? You know, buy some lamb and whatever the fuck. Or whatever type of, you know, food and produce they get there, you know? But still, it's just like, they, you know, that's just like, especially anyone at my age, too, you know, who's there. I mean, a lot of them have been fighting, trying to fucking, literally, too, you know, with guns, you know, with arms, you know, to be like, hey, you know, let's try to fight to get ourselves back to some stability, and it just hasn't been there for them yet. So, it's now, seeing this, it's just like, to me, that just shows that they're like, nah, fuck this. Fuck this. We're done. We are done. Fuck everybody. We are going to take things to our own initiatives because you have all destroyed our country more than Saddam or any other, you know, leader we have put in power for ourselves, you know, could ever do in their lifetimes. Twice over. So it's just like, you know, I sympathize with them. I do. I mean, you know, them protests in Iran and Turkey, too. I mean, honestly, like, you know, like, I can see why. Like, because it's like, even despite a lot of the various different figures and powerheads that were trying to, you know, do stability and peace and shit, Iran was still meddling in Iraqi government, sure. You know, so it's just like, that's why I always say, let the people, you know, rise up against that shit. And, hey, what do you know? They are. Saddam said he was God once during his speech. Well, dictators tend to see themselves like that. I mean, Kim Jong Un says the same shit, you know. So it's like these type of figures are not necessarily that different, you know, when it comes to that stuff. I mean, I think Gaddafi said the same stuff too. So I mean, I'm not that surprised. I don't, not all of them do it, but you know, there's definitely a good chunk of them that think of themselves that way. I mean, just like all I can say is that like whatever government or you know power they put in place that the Iraqi people put in, you know, I just wonder if it's going to be like more like the Tunisian style, like get more democratic representation type of shit going, or if it's going to just be like another type of Saddam figure. Either way, it's not my problem. And either way, it gets Iraq more stable. So, whatever. Iran strikes cause destruction as well. Turkey's, albeit they're against different groups. Yeah. Yeah, like it does. I mean, but to the people who live in Iraq and have been there for years and just not, no matter who it is, just seeing nothing but destruction and, you know, their lands and farms and stuff just, you know, just destroyed, you know, because some random foreign fuck, you know, wants, you know, profit from this or that or whatever, this or that, or some geopolitical bullshit. You know, because they're just born on, you know, this chunk of land that just happens to be, you know, this old big fucking playground for war. And they just want to tend, you know, to some farms and their families and this and that and shit. You know, the usual shebang that most average Joe people sometimes don't even have to even worry about because they could just go to the store and get a lot of their shit. These people, they got more to work with. Or they got more to work for, you know, to try to keep themselves going. Especially in a region totally ravaged and, like, for the most part, infertile at this point. The only real common enemy of both sides of Iraq-Syria wars was the Islamic State. Pretty much everyone in the region had to go at ISIS at some point. Yeah. Like, at some point, everyone had their swing at them. Because they were just like, we're going to establish our own caliphate, and anyone against us, we're going to kill, basically. Like, it was just like, alright, you're all fucking crazy. Prepare for ISIS Bola. The virus doesn't kill you. Oh my god. Damn. Man, I crushed my finger like a little over a week ago now. And the fucking like mark is still there, but it's actually like a part of my nail now at this point because it's actually growing. It's actually like growing closer to the front of the nail now at this point. So it's like, damn. And it still feels just. Still feels like it's a bruise. And it's just like, fuck. This is ridiculous. It's like, what the hell? But, alright, well, I'll be right back here. 1 second. Take a sip. Should be back momentarily. Shebang bang. Shebang bang. Shebang boom. Ugh. Even though I had fun /arm/ create ISIS, had to fight ISIS at some point. Pretty much. My strategy for war is ISIS Bola. Send the virus into the water supply, then wait for the epidemic, then send in ISIS to take care of survivors. Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh jeez. Oh jeez, Dios mío. This is what the fuck. Oh man. Ugh. Definitely dropped in temperature out here. To be fair, I'm pretty sure the leather jacket underneath is probably still damp. So, that probably could be it too, because it was just fucking pouring down rain ridiculousness yesterday. It was absurd. Alright, got the last bowl loaded up for the night. Shabag bang, shabag boom. Going down this electric boo. Get off me. Sticky weed. Sticky. Sticky, sticky. Boom. There we go. The ringing of a jaw. Alrighty. No, let's kill this motherfucker. In Minecraft. Nice. Kinda clogged though. Thought I clogged this bitch. Fuck. There we go. Did you hear Trump released the most bullshit one-sided peace deal ever? No, I'm not surprised. Did you see? Damn. Did you see the ISIS clerics had a debate as to whether or not infants should have their anus circumcised because it said so somewhere in the Sahih al-Bukhari, or whatever the fuck? No, because I don't give a fuck about what those lunatics think. And also, how's that fucking work? How does that, like, I don't even want to know. Don't even fucking post it. I don't even want to see a comment on it. Don't even. I don't even want to fucking know. I think it's best left if I didn't know that. Be still, that will allow Israel to take all the land they want and still pretty much control over a new Palestinian state. Of course. Zionist Trump at it again. Probably got a good check from AIPAC on that one. I mean, as much as I really hate or the ideology, a lot of different like super anti-Semitic, right wingers, I suppose. I'm so glad so many of them are turning on Trump. It's kind of funny watching that debacle happen. Israel will also get to keep all Jerusalem except for a very poor area they don't want. Of course, because I guarantee that poor area is full of Palestinians. And they're like, it's poor and criminally impoverished. Fuck them. We'll just stick all the Palestinians there and they can live there. Let it get worse. Let it just fester worse while it gets hyper overpopulated, full of people that are just like sent into basically a fucking gulag or or a fucking ghetto. Basically become the Palestinian ghetto for Israel. Honestly, let's be fair. Israel will not be able to get away with this if they did not invest so much into the fucking U.S. Foreign policy. Because I mean, if they didn't get our blessing, they wouldn't be able to really do much shit. If anything, they'd be feeling our fucking wrath. If anything. Netanyahu has even less opposition than the U.S. Or Israel does. Well, of course they do. Of course they're not going to have that much opposition to it. I'm not... Of course. I mean, most of the government of Israel is based off a very Zionistic position. Even the opposition to Netanyahu is very well still Zionist. A support two-state solution, most practical way to prevent conflicts between begrudging peoples to the extent that is possible. It is for them to have separate sovereign homelands. Yeah. I mean, because it's... To me, that just seems like the best solution, because under one government, they definitely still want to be able to cooperate with each other, but at least under two separate ones, they can, just meddle in their own business and just fuck off from each other. Build a great wall, and then just not, then if they are isolations with each other, then whatever. At least there ain't no human rights violations or, war crimes being committed. One state with equal rights is naive Western lib Disney fantasy movie. Well, yeah. Like, that's, like, something that may happen, like, way down the road. But that's, like, way down the road is, like, 100 plus some fucking years. Of course, I'd love that, but it's not happening. Yeah. Not in our lifetimes, at least. I support a two-state solution with an illegal settlers kicked out of West Bank, Jerusalem as an independent. Well, Gaza as well, I'm pretty sure. Just like other places besides just the West Bank. Jerusalem as an independent city-state. Yeah, because I don't trust either side, to have autonomy over that city. And tunnels underneath Israel allowing travel between West Bank and Gaza. Yeah. It didn't, like, fly zone paths, so you don't accidentally cause fucking crazy bullshit, or whatever the fuck, because some Palestinian commercial plane flew over Israeli airspace, or whatever shit. Or vice versa. Fortunately, Israel will remain an apartheid police state in Palestine, and whatever incarnation it will be a 1600s era theocracy. Yeah. Especially with a lot of being supporting, or at least with Hamas even being partly a political power, too. Palestine would be current West Bank and Gaza. I think there's also a little bit... Well, I know Syria is also getting the blunt of the apartheid as well, because Israel's also attempting to annex and settle into fucking places in Syria as well. So... If not BDS build... Not if BDS builds the momentum and Palestinians rise up and fight back. I mean, Palestinians have been fighting back for quite some time. They're just labeled as a bunch of fucking terrorists because Hamas happens to be in the mix or whatever the fuck. Which honestly, I don't even really consider them that terroristic. I just consider them a theocratic pieces of shit. That's about it. I mean, of course they do fucking horrible tragedies and shit, but you know what? It seems more so in defense and retaliation more so than, you know, like outright just fuck the West, blah, 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 or whatever. Like Al-Qaeda's probably more like that, which is why they're legitimate terrorists or whatever the fuck, but, you know, with Hezbollah or Hamas or whatever, not really. They don't really qualify under my book. Israel's just as terroristic? Yeah. So, I mean, this whole idea that nations or countries can't be terrorist groups or organizations as well is also kind of funny, too, because they definitely are. The U.S. is, Saudi Arabia is, Israel is, you know, all these other countries that have, you know, participated in all this global politics bullshit are. Armin Navabi, ex-Muslim atheist activist and founder of the convention, did a video going around Ramallah asking young people about secularism. There's a secular party there, Palestine, small but growing. Yeah, and hopefully they continue to grow, because I feel like a lot of Palestinians especially are connected to the internet and in a lot of younger minds and shit, so maybe that gets them more open to secularized Western values and shit. And that's honestly all the best the West can do and should be doing, is just basically with the internet and other forums, just like, hey, look at our culture, ain't it cool? And, you know, just there you go. And then people eventually over time be like, oh yeah, that is kind of cool. It's important not to fall into whataboutism when talk about this stuff. Whataboutism is logical fallacy for a reason. It's just obfuscation, deflection. Two wrongs don't make it. Who cares? Well, yeah. I mean, it's not that, you know, I don't care that they do wrongs and, you know, horrible acts and shit. It's just that this idea that they're, you know, them, you know, being a part of this whole issue with the Palestinian-Israeli conflict that's happening, lumping all Palestinians as terrorists, which that happens. And it's just like, that's what I'm really trying to call out more so than just anything else on that one. But I feel like that's not really directed at me, though. Because, I mean, if anything, that's just more of like a blame game type of fallacy. I don't know what that would be called, but it's just like, you know, because it's just like, oh, we're going to blame this one group as all a bunch of terrorists. But it's like, yeah, but your nation's doing the same exact fucking terrorist acts, if not worse. You know, it's just like, it's just a blame game, he said, she said bullshit. It's all about that he said, she said bullshit. Amazing how in Israel everyone's just Ubering around in self-driving Teslas, and Gaza's just squalor. Western values, am I right? I mean, that's why I just love the hypocrisy of just the human condition, because, you know, on one hand, you got a bunch of people who just virtue signal about, like, oh, look at me, you know, I'm doing good, yeah. And then, you know, on the other hand, it's just like, oh, but those people, they can live in squalor and filth because they're peasants and they're undesirables, but... It's just like such a chimp mentality. I just fucking hate it. Because it quite literally drives people fucking mad when they're stuck in that mentality. People in Gaza can't leave, they're stuck in there. Yeah, that's even the worst part. They can't leave to go somewhere better so they can have a better life. Because I guarantee you most of those people just want to just live. You know, they just want to, like, I just want to live in, you know, a place that isn't just fucking horrible. You know, it's just like, I want to be a place where I'm okay, you know, where I can just, you know, have a fun, basic job that I can enjoy doing and stuff, and just live, and, yeah. Fuck Israel, fuck Hamas, fuck apartheid, fascism, and fuck medieval theocracy. True. True. Oh, just load this fatty begatti even more fattier. Because why not? Boom. Hell yeah. Shabag boom, shabag boom. Oh. There we go. Boom. There we go. Bam. Ugh. God, this chair is so fucking ridiculous. Ugh. It's like even just standing still, I swear this chair will make a fucking noise. Oh, yeah, there it was. I heard a little crick. Oh. It's just, ugh. The chair's embodiment of cringe. Fuck Israel and fuck Hamas. Fuck apartheid fascism and fuck medieval theocracy. Fuck it all, it's all terrible. Ba-doom boom. I want to sympathize with Hamas and the associated groups, but I be sentenced to death under them. Yeah, same here. That's why I don't outright sympathize with them. I sympathize with the plight they're going through, but I don't mean I have to sympathize with them as a people. Because just because they got those views doesn't mean they need to be treated like subhuman garbage. You know? So, even though they might treat people who, like, leave their religion or have different sexual orientations or just different beliefs, they might treat them like garbage. Doesn't mean we got to. Doesn't mean we have to be the lesser. Unlike any of them, the UN needs to step in and mandate a two-state solution. Unfortunately, I don't really see the UN doing any of that because they even let Saudi Arabia be on the human rights panel, so I really don't think that's happening. Can I go to the bathroom again? God dang it. One moment, as I go to the restroom. And I shall return momentarily to continue this conversation. Bandito, sweet boy. Bandito, sweet boy. Yeah. Okay, what the fuck? I miss a lot. Oh shit. At least the Palestinian Christians get to pay the jizya tax and live in this. Dhimmis, Pasti, leave in Islam as direct death sentence. Yeah. What do you think, Sharia law spreading in Turkey? It's awful because of just various horrible fucking reasons of, like, Islamism. Yay. Think Europe needs to crack the harem down and kick him out of NATO for one. Step 1, kicked out of NATO. Step 2, crack down on. Step 3, question mark. Step 4, profit. Maybe not the profit part. Let's kick that out. Let's not have that at least. Out of Turkey would be very sad. So much as secular Western Turkey. I have traveled there several times and loved it. Nice people, nice food, drinking, etc. I tried to stay out by supported the Turkey coup in 2015 or whatever. Slovak American generals who were loyal secularists tried to overthrow Erdogan. Yeah, I remember that shit too. I was kind of wondering what the whole solution of that was going to be, but it ended up just creating more of a grip on the fucking Erdogan's regime. Tighter grip. Turk was admiral, but he turned the last caliphate into a secularized, liberalized state. He was a hero. Fortunately, Turkey's turning back the clock. Yep, basically. I support the Turkey coup 150% everybody around the world, secular Western liberalism. Fuck Erdogan, but support we don't go the Iran route with Turkey. Definitely not. We need to at least, you know, keep commerce and trade and stuff. We can't be like, hey, we crack down on you, and that means, like, we're going to literally fuck with you, like, in every shape and form, including military intervention. And it's just like, no, that's not how we're going to do it. Fuck that. So, you know, you got to do it via just pressure, you know, just you got to pressure them via, like, diplomacy, commerce, and just, like, vocalizing their problem with them. Because at the end of the day, it's kind of what they are. Kind of a problem. Remnants of a heater. I mean, I'm kind of hoping maybe, like, there will be, like, a reversal on the clock reversal. We'll see that type of thing. Hopefully. Because, like, I mean, it seems like there's been a lot of backlash to Erdogan and his regime and impression, while at the same time, it's becoming a tighter grip. So maybe there'll be a point where the straw that broke the camel's back happens for the people in Turkey. I mean, we're seeing a lot of that just all over the place from last year and this year, from like yellow vesters in France and shit, protesters here in the U.S. and stuff. Fucking the Middle East is, you know, starting to say fuck this shit, we've had enough, you know. So it's just like, I feel like, you know, that we're gonna probably see that with Turkey as well. You know, I think that'll eventually bleed out into Turkey too, because they're gonna see a lot of what's Iraq's going through right now with their protests, and then with fucking Iran, you know, and their shit. So it's just like, you know what, you know, why don't we join in on the fun and start saying, hey, fuck you, government. It's just like, we don't like you. Like, I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe we might start seeing that bleed in at some point in time, but who knows. I feel like that whole Sharia law thing probably won't be the straw that broke the camel's back, but I feel like we might get there with them. So, I don't know. With a lot of these things, you just have to play the weight game. That's really what it is. You just have to you know, keep pushing for what, you know, you hope will get that best outcome, and then hope you get it. I mean, if not, rethink some shit. You know, start, you know, adjusting to what happened and stuff, and, you know, keep up with to what the fuck's happening. Because sometimes the best thing to do is not do anything.
I mean, it's best if when we do nothing in these type of interactions.
Just let it take its course. Erdogan is seen as a Ted Cruz-like figure by Turkish liberals. Yeah, I seems pretty comparable.
I mean, I once heard him be called Turkish Hitler.
Ted Cruz, except less comically weird and more scary. Yeah, basically. Like, I've heard him be compared as, like, a Turkish Hitler before. Which I also feel like, you know, considering a lot of various different things, while hyperbolic, I feel like, you know, there's comparisons, I guess. I don't know, whatever. When there's comparison, there's comparison. Comparisons don't have to necessarily be terrible. But in this instance, yeah, the terrible ones, I see some comparisons, yeah. But it's just like, I mean, pretty much like any bad figure that people could think of, they're like, yeah, compare him to that. It's like, okay. Sometimes it goes over the top. Like, I don't think he would be like some Pol Pot motherfucker, but like, I mean, I don't know. Ted Cruz is definitely a really great example, though. I like the Gollum one too, being compared to Gollum, because that guy really does look like just a more plumped, fattened Gollum. Ataturk, the democratic secularist who turned Turkey from Californian empire to a republic, self-proclaimed nationalist and socialist in his own words, but wasn't a fascist. I mean, it didn't seem like he was... I mean, just on that notion alone, it didn't seem like it was... I mean... You know... Well, I mean, I guess in a sense he was, but not like in the National Socialist leaning sense of like the far-right mentality. But just an actual liberalized, westernized type of mentality of it. Nationalism in the sense of creating a Turkey. Yeah. Not like in the more modern sense of what nationalism is. Because that, even the definition of that terminology has definitely changed over the years and over the decades. Because it used to be multiple, you know, for sure, definitely like multiple different views, like where it's just like, yeah, I'm just a nationalist just because, you know, I want to, you know, establish this nation and, you know, just let it, you know, people in it, you know, are, you know, part of the citizenry and stuff, you know, which that's far more, you know, generalized sense of it. But then there's ones that are like, yeah, we are, you know, we want to have our nation, and then anyone who's against it or, you know, not a part of us will be suppressed or whatever the fuck. So they basically had to recreate the Turkish language in Latin script. Damn. The Ottoman Turkish language was an Arabic script and heavily influenced by Arabic and Persian. It was a different language, really. Huh. Yeah, I mean, especially over those generations, I can imagine the language changing fundamentally. And kind of having to rewrite it a little bit, too. Pop and pop. He was an atheist, at least in private writings he admitted to being one. Well, it makes sense for the secularist perspectives. I mean, being secularist doesn't necessarily mean you're an atheist, but it makes sense. He abolished the death sentence. And, I mean, he seems like my type of guy. Now Erdogan's trying to bring the death sentence back. Yeah, that makes total sense, because right now all he could really do is just be like, yeah, we tortured somebody enough to the point they died, oops. Like, I mean, it's pretty much kind of how they do that type of shit. Or they just do that while people are protesting and shit.
and in secret, of course, extrajudiciously. But he just wants to put it on the books so they could be open about it. Turkey's a beautiful place. I want to go back, but fear. Yeah, I mean, dude. I mean, I want to go there, even though I'd just be simply a, tourist. Just be like, oh look, tourist, whatever. But it's just like, I mean, if their government realized who the fuck I was, they'd be like, no, we might keep you here more than you want, if you get my drift. We don't like people like you. So yeah, I want to go there. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of great things about it, but yeah, I just wouldn't want to go to a place like that right now. Maybe if they get like their new Ataturk type of figure, where they can actually get like, more liberalized, westernized, and secularized type of ideas back. But in the meantime, I think I'm good. Turkish and Green Islands. That's what a coup tried to do. Yeah. I mean, when it happened, I was in favor of it, because it's like, damn. It's, get rid of... Yeah, because it's like, damn, you get rid of this crazy dude. I mean, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see something like that again. I mean, I know there was a point when it was initially happening where I thought where it might have been like, just something as a ploy that Erdogan was doing just so he can tighten his power. But, I mean, but whether or not that was the case or not, anyone who was in favor of these ideas was in favor of the coup anyway, and, eventually, supported that shit. So, I feel like, even if it was, there's, the people within it definitely weren't. Turkish, fucking stupid out guy here. Turkish Putin kills journalists. Oh. That's not good. I don't like that. That's a no bueno. Why though? It's like, why though? No. How about we don't do things like that? That's bad. It's bad, okay? There are more than plenty of liberals, atheists, secularists in Turkey. They're just inferior consequences of fighting Erdogan and his crowd. Yeah. I mean, because, when you got such a oppositional force, like, especially a violent one against you, it's kind of hard for you to feel like, yeah, let's go do something when no one else is kind of feeling that way either. Or it's like, I'm not sure about that. This didn't get much coverage, but Illinois just passed a law capping insulin costs at $100 a month for a month's supply. Damn. I mean, I think it shouldn't have cost a fucking dime, but damn. At least, hey, there's a start. That's good. Oregon should follow suit. Politicians are considering it. Sweet. I mean, though, considering isn't actually enacting a legislation to push something like that, though. So when I hear politicians consider something, I generally don't really get my hopes up. Fuck John Delaney. Delaney-ac until I die, bruh. I'm a Delaney. Delaney-ac. I'm a Delaney-ac. Delaney-ac till I die. Delaney-ac till I die. John Delaney for 2020. John Delaney-ac till I die. John Delaney probably has an anus for his penis. Oh, oh, oh shit. Oh my god. Holy shit, what the fuck? Woo! Holy shit, what the fuck? Oh, oh my god. Oh my god, holy shit, I need to collect myself. Oh my god. Woo! Oh fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my fuck. Oh my god. Oh my god. Fuck. Okay, that was it. That was the one. That was the fucking one. Oh my god. I can't. Oh my fucking god. Jesus fuck. You fucking broke me, dude. No. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god, hold on. I just need a minute. Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. Oh. Oh man. Okay. Okay. God, fuck. Oh. Oh man, holy shit. Okay, okay. Can I read the chat? Can I read the chat? Should I read the chat? Oh man. Oh, oh my god. Oh my god. Oh shit.